It was a horrible experience, but I was trying to connect the lines. I was like, so someone has to raise animals, and then the whole cycle of raising animals ends up at a slaughterhouse. So I realized that animal agriculture catalyzes animal slaughter in such a way that animals are raised from the factory farms and their lives end at the slaughterhouse. My grandfather was actually involved in the same practice. He had done that for a very long time, and it was a history of our family. So I was trying to connect the lines of how someone would commodify an animal, but at the end of it all, they're only looking at the profits. And then I realized that I had to do something about it. Talk about animal rights, not animal welfare. Talk about animal freedom, animal justice, teaching people that animals do not belong to the plates. Animals do not belong to the factory farms. Animals belong to the sanctuaries, and animals deserve the freedom. In fact, it's one of our dreams to build and set up a sanctuary in Uganda so that all animals have a safe haven, a safe place to live freely and enjoy their lives without exploitation or abuse.
For nature.
For the ocean. For people.
For animals. Hello, beautiful SANUSPLANET community. It's amazing that you're listening today to this beautiful podcast again. Every 2 weeks, we have a new episode with amazing people all over the world who are caring for animal rights, human rights, ocean conservation, or nature protection. And I am really happy to share with you about so many beautiful people in this world that are caring for change and acting for it, not just caring for it, but acting for it. And one of these beautiful people I have as my guest today, and it's really cool to have you here. Thank you so much for your time. Dear Constatine Aporu, it's amazing that you take the time to be here. You're from Uganda and you are the founder of the Eco Space Foundation. That's an NGO in Uganda that is supporting animal rights. And you organize amazing projects for animals and protecting animals, but also talking to people about veganism, plant-based diet, and what it can change in the world. First of all, I want to say you're more than welcome in this podcast. I'm very happy to have you as my guest here today. Thank you so much for taking time to be here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Stu, for hosting me. I am really honored and extremely humbled to take part in this podcast. But I also thank you for all the amazing work that you're doing. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's so beautiful to get to know people from all over the world, also through our SANUSPLANET Foundation, as we are supporting NGOs worldwide. And I'm really happy and looking forward to supporting you as well with your amazing work. So now today, the whole community can hear a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, what you care for, why you do what you do, and can get to know your NGO a little bit better, because in future, we will definitely support your NGO. So the community should get to know who the people are that we support. So for everybody who is listening today, the first time to this podcast, we have many episodes. Listen to them. There are beautiful NGOs there, beautiful founders of NGOs. And today we talk about animal rights. That's our focus of today. Constantine, my first question for you is, you haven't been born as a vegan, probably, I think. You haven't been born as someone who is caring for animals so deeply that you never ate them. I can imagine, but you tell us the story. What made you go that way? What did change your life? When did you start to care for animals so much that you even found the need of supporting them with an NGO? How did that all happen? Tell us a little bit, take us on the journey.
Wow, thank you so much. My journey to veganism started in 2019, and this still dates back to my family history. Back in the days, I lost my grandfather, who was an animal farmer. Our home was attacked in Soroti, the eastern part of Uganda, and my grandfather was killed. He had a lot of cows. He was killed, and our family was raided. So my parents had to flee home, and I was born far away from home in Kampala. So as I grew up, I used to ask my parents about my grandfather, about why we never used to visit home. And then they told me the story of how it happened, how our home was attacked, and how our home was raided, and then how our grandfather was killed because of animal agriculture and animal commodification. So as I finished university in 2016, I joined a fellowship with One Health Central and Eastern Africa, whereby I got a chance to visit national parks in Uganda. I visited slaughterhouses. I was in so many other areas, and I learned so much about animal brutality. So that is when I decided to go vegan in 2019. And I started by volunteering with Anonymous for the Voiceless. And then eventually, I also supported a friend who had just started a vegan organization in 2019. As I worked as programs coordinator for 5 years. And then eventually, that is when I started Eco Space Foundation in 2023, October. So ever since 2019, I have worked with different chapters, different organizations, and I've always believed that being vegan and standing up for animals is the right thing to do. Until now, I'm always organizing a lot of activities to push and advocate for the rights of animals. Yes, thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much. The reason why you stand up for the animals, I can clearly feel it's your love for animals and giving them the right to have a good life as well. May I ask you a little bit more about what happened to your grandfather? Why has he been killed? Do you want to share something there? Because I did not clearly understand now what happened in that time. Maybe I don't know about the history in your country at that time. Do you want to share something there?
Yeah, sure. Let me give a highlight on that. So back in the days, we had insecurity in Uganda, and we had raids in such a way that different communities would attack different communities, and they would loot or raid. So my family was composed of animal farmers, my grandfather and grandmother. So our home was attacked, and they stole animals, which was attributed as property. They took cows, and he was killed. Mm-hmm. I could say, yes, because of the insecurities. And my parents had to run away from home. So I was born later in the years. So I got to know about that story as I grew up. We never used to visit home. Whenever I would ask them about our grandfather, they would avoid the question. And then as I grew up, my parents opened up and told me what happened. So as I completed university, I got to join a fellowship, and then I got to visit the slaughterhouse. I was at national parks. I was at the fish landing sites in Uganda. I saw all the horrible cruelty that happens to animals. So when I connected this to what happened to my grandfather, I realized that animal cruelty and commodification is very dangerous, and that I had to do something to end animal injustice in Uganda. Mm. That is why I in 2019, and I started animal action from 2019 up to date. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if I am, maybe I tried to make a small connection here. As you say, animal agriculture can be also dangerous in the way of some people in your country had animals, and other people wanted to have these animals to have a bit more income or more power or more to have something that is theirs. So they attacked your father mainly because they wanted to have the animals to have a bit more financial security or more brighter future. So it was a bit a brighter future, let's say. Killing animals cannot really help us to create a bright future in general, I think. But their point of view was, if you have all of these animals, you are a bit more rich, you have a bit more, and you can create a bigger income or something like that. So in this way, animal agriculture in your country was quite dangerous in the end as well. Is this true? Did I say that right?
Yes, you said it right. Actually, that incident still happens in eastern and part of northern Uganda, whereby people go ahead to attack different communities and homes to loot and raid from them. So animals are commodified. Animals are treated as commodities or objects that people come up and attack different families and even kill their loved ones just to take away the animals from them. So that happened to our family, and that is how we lost our grandfather. I didn't get a chance, but this is what my parents told me, and this is something that I got to learn as I grew up.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And when you have been visiting the slaughterhouse for the very first time, when you have seen something like that, so something like a slaughterhouse from inside, I can imagine it was really painful, because you faced a lot of things that you also have been part of, because you haven't been a vegan before. And then you see these things that are happening in the animal world, and you feel like you are part of a system that is not cool, that is not something that you want to support and that you stand for. How was this moment for you, visiting a slaughterhouse and seeing what's happening there, while you have been not vegan, right? You haven't been vegan at that time. How was this for you?
Yeah, it was a horrible experience, but I was trying to connect the lines. I was like, so someone has to raise animals, and then the whole cycle of raising animals ends up at a slaughterhouse. So I realized that animal agriculture catalyzes animal slaughter in such a way that animals are raised from the factory farms and their lives end at the slaughterhouse. So I was trying to connect the lines, and I was like, my grandfather was actually involved in the same practice because he had done that for a very long time, and it was a history of our family. So I was trying to connect the lines of how someone would commodify an animal, but at the end of it all, they're only looking at the profits. The life of an animal ends up at a slaughterhouse. And then I realized that I had to do something about it to end the whole process of animal agriculture, right from the factory farms, right to cruel transportation through the slaughterhouses. So that's why I had to do something. That's why every time that I go to outreaches, we actually talk about total animal liberation. We talk about animal rights, not animal welfare. We talk about animal freedom, animal justice, teaching people that animals do not belong to the place. Animals do not belong to the factory farms. Animals belong to the sanctuaries, and animals deserve the freedom. In fact, it's one of our dreams, our future goals and dreams, to build and set up a sanctuary in Uganda so that all animals have a safe haven, a safe place to live freely and enjoy their lives without exploitation or abuse. Yes.
I love that vision, and I want to do what I can to support you with that vision so that you can really create a sanctuary. I cannot wait to see that. I'm really looking forward that we have animal sanctuaries all over the world because we need it, and the animals really deserve it so much. And when you then have seen the slaughterhouse and you have felt all of the stuff that's going on, I can imagine there's a lot what happened in your mind, and like all of these things that come down on you, to see that, whoa, we create a system that is really cruel, based on cruelty, and you felt you don't want to be part of this. Did you become vegan right away, or did you become first vegetarian? Like for me, it was like that. I needed time to get there to be vegan, and I became first vegetarian, and then at some point I felt like, ooh, now I replace more of the meat that I have been eating before. I replace it with milk products, and that's even worse than meat in my point of view, because it's including definitely the cruelty the same way, but even more, because first we take away the milk from the mom, take away the babies, they suffer all the time, and then until they can't anymore produce milk, we kill them anyway. So it's meat production involved as well. But I needed time to get there. How long did it take for you to get there? And what have been the steps for you in this process?
Well, I could say I'd been vegetarian for a while, through 2018, but I was doing that for health reasons. I used to have inflammations whenever I would eat animal products. I would have swellings on my body, so I'd actually reduced my intake of animal products right from the beginning. Through 2017, 18, before 2019, I'd started reducing the intake of animal products. But I was also trying to figure out how I actually didn't know about veganism, but I hated the whole process of animal slaughter, the whole process of factory farming. I really hated it, but I didn't know what to do. Not until after the fellowship, the One Health fellowship that I had. And then eventually I met a friend who was also trying to become a vegan. And then that is how we get to start to volunteer for Anonymous, for the Voiceless. And then we get to watch the videos, we get on the streets, and then we get to hold the cube of truth. That is how I get to learn more about veganism. And by 2019, I was completely vegan. So I got to connect with different people, different communities. Then I had to learn and learn and learn and learn. And then I got more active and active and active. I could say I've been actively involved in vegan activism from 2019 up to date. I've been to so many schools, I've been to communities. This is what I've been doing since 2019. And I am really proud of what I'm doing. I find fulfillment in advocating for animal rights. And this is what I do every single day. Online, offline, everywhere I go. This is what I'm always doing. Yes.
Love it. I love it. I gave a lot of speeches as well in schools about veganism or about different topics in the world, like overfishing and how important the ocean is for us all. and other topics. I have seen that the kids are much more open to these topics than sometimes the adults or even older adults, because they live a life since many years the same way, and then they use a lot of this excuse, oh, we have done it always already, we go on, we keep on doing what we have done because it works. And they hold on to this comment, right? To this argument, which is not even an argument. I think always, if we would do the same thing that we always have done, we would not sit here in front of a computer and communicate this way, because we would sit in a cave. That's what we have done, right? So we are evolving. The world is evolving. So my question to you in this moment is, how do you see the youth generation, the young generation, to be open for it? How is it? How does it feel to you when you go to schools? Can you reach the people? Can you reach their hearts? Which people are easier to reach? Is it young generations? Are you also in touch with older generations, and they also open up? What is your experience there?
My experience about young people, either youth and children, has been a very, very positive experience. Each time we go to schools, we are welcomed by these students. We are really welcomed. After the presentations, students get a chance to ask questions, really meaningful questions. They get to interact freely. They go ahead and show interest in joining our vegan clubs. We are actually formulating vegan clubs in schools, and young people are always more interested in joining. They ask for our contacts. They always want to reach out to volunteer. So young people are really very positive and open-minded. And we really believe that if we continue all this work in universities, in schools, and local communities, we shall have more and more young people join the vegan movement. Young people are very, very positive. On the other hand, the elders or the old people, well, their response has not been very positive, because they get so much into the myth, the culture, they try to reason so much, a lot of logic. But then some of them are really trying to cope up because of the health part, the health reasons. So when we try to show them about the dangers of consuming animal products, when we try to show them the dangers of animal agriculture to the planet, they always try to pick up and have a positive conversation. But all around, I could say young people are more open-minded and positive about animal rights and veganism in Uganda. Yes.
Yeah. It's the same what I can see here also. I know people, a lot of people also, which are much older than me, that are completely open and already maybe even vegan before I even knew what veganism is. So there are people in an older age that are open for it. But I can see that the younger generation is much more open for it as well. And what you said before about the health reason, I totally agree. I had a lot of inflammation many years ago when I was not vegan, when I was not vegetarian. It had not only to do with the food choice, but also with the, I mean, not only with the plant-based food or not plant-based, but also with sugar or with alcohol. I don't drink alcohol much anymore at all. And I eat less sugar. So these two things are definitely also making a role for me, or a part. But definitely, since I became vegan, I don't have inflammation anymore. It has to do with this food choice for me too. I had that a lot. So I completely get you on this point. And I know that many people are listening much faster when it becomes the health reason, their own health reasons to listen to. What are your tips when you talk to people about the health topics? What do you talk about when you talk about veganism and health, the connection?
Well, we always try to show them that red meat is more associated to diabetes, pressure, obesity, and many other complications like stroke. And we try to show them that instead of eating animal products like, let's say, milk, meat, or fish, they could opt for alternatives that are healthy, like oats, soya, like tofu, and many others. We also encourage them to eat beans, peas, and we try to show them that these have been proven and they are very healthy without any association to health risks or complications. So we try to show them that animal products have a lot of bad fats. You know, animals are raised on chemicals. Animal products are healthy. We really try to show them all the dangers of consuming the animal products. And then we try to show them about the communicable diseases. So each time we try to relate to all these other issues. Of course, we try to show them about the COVID-19, Ebola, and other diseases. We try to show them that when you eat these sick animals, you'll also end up being sick. So why not choose the or plant-based alternatives that are healthy. And of course, people talk about the taste, and we try to show them that, but we eat to live. You don't really have to mind about the taste. As long as you've eaten something that is healthy, it is good enough. You don't have to kill an animal just to eat. So we try to show them that from that angle. And yeah, some of them really open up and we try to have a conversation. Yes.
And about the taste, I have to say, you don't have to also think like many people think that it's tasteless to eat vegan and plant-based. It's not. There are so many amazing possibilities, right? But people don't know about them sometimes. That's why they think, it's tasteless, it's boring, but it's not at all. I got to learn about so many new flavors than I knew before I became vegan. So like, it's really interesting. My knowledge about food opened up 360 degrees. Like I have so much more taste in my life now, but I had to open for it. So I always encourage people to just open for it and try out different things. That's cool that you do that too. When you go to schools, how do you do there? Do you make workshops in schools? So you talk about it, about veganism, about animal rights? Do you bring also some tests, let's say some examples to test, to try out some food? Or how does this work in the schools, the school programs?
Yeah, our vegan school programs are very inclusive and interactive. I will run a wide range of programs, right from vegan education. With vegan education, it is always a classroom arrangement. So we usually have a whole school seated in a classroom arrangement, and then we get to teach them about veganism, we teach them about ethics, we teach them about animal rights, and show them the dangers of animal agriculture. And then we get to show them how really it is very dangerous to hurt or exploit animals. And then we get into the question and answer session. We get to take pictures, students get to ask their questions, and then we go ahead and try and formulate the vegan clubs. So on other scenarios, we always organize the vegan feeding program. This program mainly aims at promoting access to plant-based foods, but also encouraging young people to adopt a plant-based diet. So we always prepare hot-cooked plant-based meals, and we share samples with students to encourage them to cherish plant-based options. And some of these schools, actually, these students go throughout the whole day without eating something. But then whenever we prepare those very nice plant-based meals and share with them, we try to show them that, look here, you don't have to eat animal products. You can always try out plant-based products. So we usually try to collaborate with our chefs and nutritionists to teach these young people how pleasant plant-based meals are, and they try to try them out. The other program that we do in schools is the plant-based education program. Now, this program focuses on teaching young people about the benefits of consuming plant-based products. I will also teach them about the need to protect the planet and also encourage them to be planet stewards. So we go ahead and distribute fruit trees. I think you've seen some of the fruit trees that we distribute. We try to distribute the fruit trees and encourage these young people to plant the trees within the school and look after them with a vision and a goal to always expose them and increase access to fruits in the near future. So instead of them staying the whole day without a meal, or instead of them eating animal products, they could eat fruits. So the other one, we encourage them to plant the trees and take care of them, but we also increase access to fruits within schools. And at the same time, we also try to mitigate the climate change crisis. So that is some of the work that we do in schools. And then we organize debates, we organize games, and we try as much as we can to make all our programs fun and enjoyable for young people. Yes, that is what.
That is very important that the young people want to be part of it so that they enjoy the whole program. Otherwise, if it's boring, people don't want to be part of it, right? So it's really cool that you make it uplifting and enjoyable with games and stuff. So really cool. When you're not just doing this plant-based school projects, but you're also somehow participating in veg festivals and vegan restaurant weeks and stuff like that you have in Uganda. Since I know organizations in Uganda, I know a lot of organizations working on plant-based topics on animal rights. I know more vegan organizations in Uganda than in my home country here. So I love it. I love Uganda for that reason already. I haven't been there yet in Uganda, but I will visit you one day. what are these other projects like the Veg Festival, the Vegan Restaurant Week? What do you do there? And how do people like them, people in Uganda? Do they interact?
Yeah, well, I'll talk about the VegFest first. Last year in August, we co-organized the VegFest in Kampala with over 10 other vegan organizations, and we had an attendance of over 1,000 people. Media was involved, the health experts, the nutritionists, and we spent the whole day talking to people about veganism, about animal rights, about healthy living, plant-based living, and it was very, very fun. We also had food testing. We had different restaurants showcasing plant-based meals, and it was all fun. It's always a very, very nice event, and we hope this year we shall still co-organize with different vegan organizations in Uganda. Well, about the Thrive Africa Vegan Restaurant Week, that was also in September last year. It was a whole week event that was organized by Thrive Philanthropy and then Thrive Africa, and then we collaborated. So Eco Space Foundation participated in such a way that we mobilized chefs and restaurants to take part in the week, and we encourage them to prepare plant-based meals throughout the week. And we encourage them to include plant-based meals on their menus, and then chefs were preparing plant-based recipes and options, and then they were showcasing on different platforms. It was a whole week of having fun and including plant-based meals on the diet. And of course, we had online campaigns. We hope the program will be back this year, still in September. And we can't wait to join that program for the whole week of promoting plant-based living and including plant-based meals on the menus. Yeah, throughout Africa.
Yeah, nice. That's the thing, right? If you are starting in Uganda and you have quite some organizations there working for this topic, bringing the topic out and connecting with all of the people on other NGOs in whole Africa and supporting each other, that's really important and really cool. And you also, I have seen you also participate or kind of work, I don't know how to call it, work together with or participate in the plant-based treaty. I think I heard about the plant-based treaty. I like it, but I cannot explain exactly what it is. Can you please explain how the plant-based treaty works and what you do with that option?
Well, the plant-based treaty is a treaty under the Animal Safe Movement. Eco Space Foundation endorsed that treaty last year, and that treaty focuses on promoting, encouraging people to shift and transform the food system, shifting from animal-based system to a plant-based system all around. And the plant-based treaty focuses on regenerating the earth, planting more trees, encouraging people to eat more trees, and making sure that people really shift totally from animal products to a plant-based system. So this treaty is right now collecting signatures and endorsements all over the world. And as soon as they hit the target, the treaty will be presented to the UN so that it will be fully endorsed, and we shall be moving ahead to transform the whole food system. So the treaty will focus on forming a food system from animal-based system to a totally plant-based system. So we collect endorsements from the cities, schools, universities, in all other public spaces. People are endorsing that treaty and ensuring that we really shift to a sustainable world that is free from animal agriculture. So yes, I am a campaigner in Uganda, and we always incorporate that treaty within our activities. We try to collaborate with different organizations in Uganda and elsewhere in the world and try to push that treaty as part of our work, because we believe in a sustainable world and we believe in a world that is free from animal agriculture. Yes.
I believe in it too. I think that we can get there. Takes time, takes quite some time. How is your hope about it? Because sometimes there are moments when I think like, oh shit, we do as much as we can. We work, we talk about it, we inform about it, but the shift is quite slow. It feels slow. But then I look at the numbers and I see how many people are becoming vegan every day more. Are thinking about their food choices and go towards a more sustainable and more animal fair world. But still, it's a bit slow. So sometimes I know we as activists, we feel like, it needs to go faster. How is your feeling there, and what's your hope for the future?
Well, the hope is really, I am very optimistic about the future. Well, when I compare the work we have been doing for the last 5 years, sometimes I even lose the count of how many people I've talked to about veganism. I believe I have been to more than 100 schools in total from 2019 up to date. I've talked to a countless number of people in schools, communities, and in the beginning, it was really a boring thing. People would not give us attention. Some schools would shut us off. Some schools would interrupt our presentations when we are talking to students. Sometimes when I would talk to students, they would sleep off, or they would make a lot of noise or walk away. And then the conversations were real tough. But then when I compare it to now, we always get audience. When we go to schools, we are given attention. People listen to us. We get into debates. We get to really have those conversations and talk to people about veganism. So I really believe that really we are taking a journey that is challenging, but people are really shifting and trying to listen to us. And I believe that the future is very bright. We have to keep working, definitely. We have to do as much work as we can every other time. Well, it is not really, but we'll keep doing and doing the work every single day, answering the questions, responding to the myth, responding to objections every other time. And, we're trying to learn as much as we can, connect with different communities, build synergies, collaborate, and try to modify and evolve as we do all the work that we are doing. So yes, I believe the future is really very, very promising. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great. I believe in the same. And I always hold on to this bright future that I have in my mind, because it also gives me the energy that I need to always stand up for the animal. I mean, I stand up for the animals anyway because I love them, but it's always good to have this source of energy where you can rely on. And if you choose to see the future bright and to know that you give what you can to help the animals, then I think there's also some energy coming back to you. That's what I believe. Private question, where do you get your energy from? What is your source of the place where you feel good, where you feel like there I can fill up my energy?
Well, my source of I find inspiration in, I feel like standing up for animals, it is the right thing. I believe if we had active vegans maybe in our community before my grandfather was killed, maybe he would be alive now. Maybe if someone had talked to my grandfather about stopping animal agriculture, maybe if he didn't have those animals anyway, maybe he would be alive. So I really believe that if I don't speak up for animals, if I don't rise up for animals, maybe someone out there will die because they don't know about this. So my source of inspiration is, I feel like talking to as many people as I can is the right thing to do. And I believe that if someone had talked to my grandfather about veganism, maybe he would be alive. So I just find fulfillment in doing the right thing, speaking up animals. Even when it gets challenging, of course, juggling the volunteers, work, trying to mobilize resources to the work is really challenging. But at the end of it all, you realize that this is all that I have to do for the animals. And if I stop doing this, maybe there is no one else that will do this. So that is how we try to go through the challenges and keep showing up.
So I can hear you also get energy from doing it, from being active, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that a lot. And I want to share this always with our community and with everyone who's part of our community, sharing, guys, stand up for what you believe in, stand up for it, stand up for others, especially because the energy that you give out to stand for the right thing to do, this energy will also come back to you. It might not be always the easiest way or the easiest thing to do, but you will see it's worth it because it's coming back to you as well in a really positive and energetic way. So that's what I always try to share with people as well. When you said before the Animal Safe Movement, the Animal Safe Movement is also organizing the Plant-Based Treaty. So the Animal Safe Movement is an organization that you connect with or cooperate with in some way. How does that work? Can everybody be part of that, or can anybody look for the organization and be helpful as a volunteer? And how does that work for you in your organization? So if people hear the Eco Space Foundation, can people write you and say, yeah, we want to support you in some way, or we want to volunteer for you? How would that work?
Well, the Animal Safe Movement is a global animal rights organization with different chapters all over the world. I first joined the Animal Safe movement last year as the organizer, Uganda Animal Safe. So I try to mobilize young people to engage into activism through the Uganda chapter. So the plant-based treaty is a program under the Animal Safe movement. So I am part of the Animal Safe Kampala chapter. I actually head it, and I am also a campaigner at the plant-based treaty. Well, about Eco Space Foundation, right now we are working with mostly local volunteers. We also have a few people that, of course, share our work digitally online, but we have not gotten a lot of people writing to us because our website is not yet up. I believe it will be up this month, but a lot of people reach out to us showing interest to participate in our work. And most of them share our work on social media, especially on Instagram. Some people repost on LinkedIn, others share on Facebook, others share on their stories. So people really show support for our work in one way or the other. And we believe that as we continue working, we shall be building a stronger community and a network with different people and join energy to advocate stronger for animals, for collective action. I am really part of different chapters like Anonymous for the Voiceless. I organize for Anonymous for the Voiceless in Kampala. I am the organizer in Uganda. I also organize for Our Planet. There's two. We always organize the National Animal Rights Day every year in June. We had an amazing event last year in June, and we shall have another one this year in June. And this is an event that is always held on the same day all over the world in over 50 cities. People come out together and then speak up for the rights of animals. So we're really trying as much as we can to build synergies and collaborate with as many vegan chapters as we can. One, to learn from different people. Two, to build synergies, but also to collaborate further for collective animal justice. Yes, that is the work we are involved in.
Very cool, very cool. I have another private question to you. What is your most amazing, or like your most loved food that you eat? The plant-based food, of course. And what is also your most loved animal? I mean, I of course, you love all animals, but is there a specific animal that you connect the most with?
Well, my best, I like peas and I like peas, cow peas, green with rice, plain rice. I like simple food. I don't like complicated food. Yeah, that is what I like most: peas and rice. And then my best animal, I like dogs. I like dogs so much. A dog is the best friend of a man. A dog gives me companion. A dog is very friendly. A dog is just some wise man and a wise animal out there. I really like dogs so much. Yes, I connect so much.
Very cool. Do you have a lot of dogs in your country? A lot of street dogs as well, running around alone, or is it more people caring for them, or do they get support? How is it the dog scenery, the dog situation in Uganda?
Well, it is quite the opposite. Dogs are violated and abused in Uganda. It is actually one thing that I've been trying to push for privately. I've been trying to look for a way to defend dogs in Uganda in such a way that most of the shelters that you see on social media, they are very fake. They are fake. They abuse animals. They abuse the dogs. They violate their rights in exchange for the donations. So most of the dogs are really abused on streets. Most of the shelters, I think you've seen them on social media, they are fake shelters. Some of them abuse the dogs in the hypocrisy of asking for donations. So real dogs are suffering in Uganda. And we are trying to work with as many people as we can to report these accounts. Some of them, when they ask us to recommend them, we don't actually recommend them. I've been doing a lot of due diligence on most of the shelters, and whenever I find out information about them, I openly report that information. So dogs are not really getting whatever they need in Uganda. And we are looking at the best way to work around with different organizations to advocate for the rights of dogs in Uganda. So it is really messy. It is really messy. Yeah.
What would you give the people as a tip if someone is listening today and says, well, but I love dogs too. I want to support dogs, especially in Uganda, because I know the situation is not that great for the dogs and I love them. What should they look out for? Is there a tip that you can give? How can people understand does it make sense to support or to donate, or does it maybe not make sense to donate to that organization? I mean, the best tip from my side is always check the organization out for a longer time, get in touch with the people and ask a bit around, ask other people as well, or if they have a bit of a knowledge about this NGO and so on. But people are far away, so it's always hard, when you want to support somewhere else. If you're not there, you never 100% know. Do you have a tip what people can do?
Well, when it gets to supporting dog charities or shelters in Uganda, I think people have to do due diligence, actually. They have to ask widely, but also ask for the registration documents. I've realized of recent that some of these organizations fake the documents, but then we have authorities in Uganda that regulate the dogs. So maybe they can reach out to those authorities like WUSPA. They can write to them and try to find out more information about these organizations. And some of these shelters, they post sick animals, and then they ask for donations for surgeries and all that. Maybe donors can ask for the veterinary doctor for the receipts. They can ask for the registration number of the veterinary doctor, because all the veterinary doctors in Uganda, professionals, are registered. So if someone is talking about taking a dog for a surgery and they don't have a veterinary doctor or a registered vet, then it means they are fake. So yeah, and most of these fake shelters are always asking for money every other time. They never show you what they're doing for the dogs. They will never show you any progress. They will never show you any history. They're always posting videos asking for donations every other time without accountability. And they're just doing it every other time. They will never show you about the whole situation of how they are helping the dogs. Every post that they make on social media is about money. Money, money, and money. And some of them post actually fake videos. They get videos from different social medias, and then they keep recycling them, asking for the donations. And maybe the other thing is, most of these fake shelters, they use fake names. And maybe before you donate to someone, you can always ask for their ID, original national ID, for their passport. And if someone is not willing to give out these documents or their location, it means they are lying and they are hiding something. So most of them don't show their location. They don't even share their documents. They are always hiding on social media. Yes.
Yes, I have seen a few of these so-called or fake organizations trying to get some money, and I know many people want to help. That's the hard topic when it's about donating. People want to help, they want to support, they want to give, but then they don't take care enough to think about where the money goes to and what is happening with the money, if this organization is really true or fake. And people just send money so they have a good feeling. And I know it's convenient, right, to send money and to give yourself a good feeling and say, oh, I support something. So you feel like you're one of the heroes that are sharing money. But if we don't care for where the money ends up, we're doing actually the exact opposite. We are feeding those who are faking it, and we are not supporting those who really deserve it. And that is, in my point of view, a really big problem that is supporting those that are taking just the money and not doing anything. So a small call for everyone listening to this: do your best. If you want to donate, but that's amazing, but take care of where the money goes and what happens with the money. In any case, not just about the dogs in Uganda, it's worldwide a topic. So please take care of that. How could NGOs support private people? How could people who want to support your NGO, for example? If someone says, wow, the Eco Space Foundation, I like it, and Constatine is a really cool guy, I like what he's doing, what he stands for, how can they help you? Of course, probably also with some donations, maybe, but there are probably other ways as well how people can get in touch or support the work that you do. Can you let us know about that?
Well, Eco Space Foundation is very active on all social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and Threads. So if someone really wants to write to us, they can also send us a message on social media, and we shall be able to get the message. They can alternatively write to us at ecospaceug@gmail.com. Our website will be up and running very soon. Maybe the other thing is they can recommend us to donors. There are funders that can always donate or support a project after being recommended. So really, if you love what we are doing and if you find fulfillment in what we are doing, you can always recommend Eco Space Foundation to funders, potential funders, and we shall be happy to present a proposal. The other thing is, right now we are running a fundraiser, an animal rights fundraiser. You could consider donating through the PayPal, through our fundraiser, to support our work. And we also run a wide range of programs or projects, like the vegan feeding program, where we distribute meals to the students, to local communities. You could choose to fundraise or support that project. I will also run the vegan education program in schools still. You could choose to fundraise or donate to that project. We also conduct animal rights activism in communities, schools, and all over. You could choose to fundraise or still donate to that project. And then finally, we also conduct the plant-based education program. But most importantly, we plant fruit trees in schools. You could choose to support or sponsor a fruit tree planting in schools. So it is all about reaching out to us. You could also reach out to Maggy, and I am sure she will be happy to reach out to us. So you can find us on all social media platforms. You can always write to us. You can always comment, and we shall be able to respond to you on record time. Yes. Thank you so much.
Very, very, very cool. I love it. That's really amazing. So everybody who was listening, I'm sure we will also support with SANUSPLANET. And that's why I'm so happy and thankful for everyone who's part of our project and uses the Sanus app and uses SanusPay for their daily purchases, because that gives us the possibility to support NGOs like yours. Without that, we couldn't. So that's a really, really cool thing. And I want to make a shout out to the whole community right now. So everyone who's part of this project, thank you so much for being part of this project and for helping us, helping more. To organizations such as the Eco Space Foundation. Thank you so much. What is was there something that I didn't ask, but that is something that you really want to share? Some story that you have been witnessing, something beautiful or something that was hard at the beginning, but then you transformed it into something beautiful. Is there something that I didn't ask and you want to share with our community?
Well, I have really talked about most of the work, but maybe to highlight, in the beginning, in 2023, October, when we had just started Eco Space Foundation, it was a challenging task to undertake. We didn't have volunteers. It was a new thing. But of course, I already had an experience of working with different vegan organizations. And this was a very, very amazing experience. I reached out to different friends, different community members, people that had talked about veganism in the beginning, and they liked the idea. I could say we have been able to do all the work through 2023 up to date with the support of our volunteers and our community members. And we've been able to do all this amazing work because they really believe in the vision. And a lot of people have tried to come up and they are trying to appreciate what we are doing. We didn't have numbers on social media, but people are really joining our community. People are sharing our work. People appreciate our work. And we are really very, very excited as we take up that journey to continue doing the animal justice work. Yes.
Nice. Is there a message you want to share with our community? If you have a minute of your time sharing whatever is the most important to you, what would you like to share with our community with your words?
Well, one most important thing in my life is I always tell people that if there is something that you're always thinking about, if you want to change the world, start now, because now is the best time to start. I always wanted to start Eco Space Foundation way back, but I was hesitant. I had cold feet. But then when I started in 2023, I realized that I took long to start, because if I had started early, I would have created a lot of impact. We would have exposed a lot of people to veganism, would have done so much work. So what I always tell people is to start now. If you are a vegan and you're not active, don't be hesitant to start now, because as you start, you'll get to figure it out along the way. You will meet a lot of people, you join a community, and you'll always improve the work that you're doing. And animals are always counting on us. So we should get started now and get active to change the world. Yes.
Thank you so much, Constantine, for your time. Thank you for sharing all of this and for giving us a bit of an let's say, inputs and view on your life and on everything that you have done so far and that you are still planning to do. And I really love your vision of the world and all of your projects. So thanks from deep in my heart for everything. And yeah, I wish you all the best for your NGO, and we will see how we can support the best way with SANUSPLANET, which makes me very happy. And let's be in touch and connected. I know you are signed up as an NGO, and soon it will be possible that people also can send you donations through the Sanus app. So everyone who is part of SANUSPLANET, Sanus Life, Sanus app already, in future you can also donate through the app. You can send money to the NGOs that are signed up, and that's something that I really love a lot. So we will update you on that information, all of you who were listening today. Thank you so much. Listen to the next podcast. In 2 weeks again is the next episode coming out. And give this podcast episode, please, a like, make an abonnement, how's it called? Follow our channel, because it gives us more visibility for many people who should also hear these messages of these beautiful people like Constatine. Thank you, Constatine, for your time. All the very best for your work. Thanks.
Thank you too for all the support, for all the engagements. We look forward to working with you. I look forward to collaborating with so many other people to build a kinder world, a sustainable world for everyone. We love you so much as Eco Space Foundation. Let's connect on social media. We are on all platforms. Let's support each other and create a collective kinder world together. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Bye.